Right. A couple things I want to touch on right out of the gates. Really grateful for the energy in the building today. I think I've said this before, but I think it's a great time to be an Idaho Vandal. I think you're watching what the women's team are doing, and we've had some good moments going 9-4 in our home building this year. I think it's an exciting time to come out to ICCU, and I just really appreciate the crowd that was here in attendance. I thought they spurred us through a lot of this game. Secondly, our seniors, while it's not your traditional group of guys who have played 3 or 4 years together, it is guys who have bled and sweat and given their all to the Vandals, and I'm just extremely grateful to those guys. I think we've elevated this program in year 3, and a lot of it is due to Brody and due to Biko and due to Isaiah and Aiden, these guys who don't get to play in this building again. So I know it means a lot to them, and I'm just very grateful for them. As far as tonight goes, I thought we played 25 minutes of good basketball. And that's obviously not enough to beat a good team, but we executed well offensively and defensively, and we were the more physical team for the majority of the game. Now, a bit of an Achilles heel for us this year has been when things don't go well or an opponent goes on a run, we lose our focus on executing our game plan on both ends of the court. And that's kind of what happened tonight. Offensively, once they hit a couple shots in the second half, offensively we started taking some bad shots and not executing the way we needed to. While we punished them in the paint early in the game, later in the game we started settling for poor shots or okay shots instead of continuing to pound the ball inside. Defensively, same thing. Once they went on their run, we kind of lost our assignments a couple times and lost our focus on how we were trying to guard them. And great teams stay consistent for all 40 minutes. So it's kind of the name of the game tonight. Disappointed that we couldn't get it done at home, but still a lot of basketball left to be played. Questions?
I'll ask the first one, I guess. You kind of noted it there, Coach, but in the first half you shot 45.2% from the field, 27.3% from the three-point, and in the second half 25.6% from the field, 16.7% from three. What do you think really happens in the shooting in the second half?
Yeah, I think we'll go to the film and we'll take a look at it like we always do. I think we started settling for some shots, not great shots. We always try to generate great shots. Which means you're trying to get to the rim, we're trying to get paint touches. If that leads to kick out wide open threes, we're okay with that too. We're always trying to generate great shots. And when you settle for not great shots, you start to lose confidence in your shooting because you're not wide open, right? And once we started to settle a little bit, then when we did get some wide open shots late, we just couldn't finish them. Whether it was the layups right around the rim or the wide open catch and shoot threes, there was that stretch there that really hurt us where we had 2 or 3 wide open looks. They had 2 or 3 wide open looks. They knocked them all down. We didn't. I think in order to shoot the ball confidently, you kind of need consistency in terms of your shot selection. So that's part of it. Yeah, but I'll need to go to the film as well.
It looked like in the first half, they opened with great spacing, great passing, and then later in the half, you were kind of shrinking them down. But then they got it back in the second half.
You're talking about us offensively or defensively?
No, I was talking about your defense against their offense.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I think they had a little rhythm early, but we were able to settle down and just focus on how we wanted to defend Quinn, how we wanted to defend Wisney. 2 great basketball players, and I think we had a good game plan coming into it. And so they did settle doin, things kind of balanced out, and I thought we defended well for the next 20 minutes of the game. And then, they got a little comfortable, and part of that was a few blown assignments. Again, we need to be able to keep our focus to defend Zach Block on the perimeter a little better, to not let Quinn get to his right hand. Little things that are part of our scouting report that we lost focus on. And Brock Wisney had a big second half in the paint, and that hurt us as well.
Well, you talked about settling for less than ideal shots in the second half, but were there any other factors you would say in half number 2 that kind of led to Northern Colorado pulling away?
Yeah, it's just about the execution, right? And I'm talking more defensively than anything. You have to stay consistent defensively whether your shots are falling or not. And I think we've been a pretty good defensive team this year. At least in conference, we're getting better and better and better defensively. But when things aren't going well offensively, it can feel like a bit of a grind. You have to continue to dig in and defend according to our defensive game plan. And there were just moments tonight where when they started to make their run, we were up 10, they would start to go on their run. Rather than cutting that run off and defending correctly, we continued to kind of add fuel to the fire by not defending according to our game plan. So I think that was a big part of it. But we did battle back late and kind of put ourselves in a position to still make a run at it. And unfortunately, a few things happened late, and we just, we can't rely on coming back down 6 or whatever it is at the end of the game. We need to find a way to kind of cut those runs off earlier.
Obviously, after the last time playing against them, your focus tonight was guarding Quinn Denker, and he had another big night. What is it specifically that he has in his bag that is so hard to defend?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because obviously, Quinn was a Vandal and he was here, and the role that he plays for Northern Colorado, is the role that I envisioned him playing here. You know, when Quinn had no options out of his Division II school, we were the team that believed in him. We were the team that saw this for him, and he and I have had some really good moments since he's left. You know, and the kind of the leadership role that he plays in Northern Colorado is what I'd envisioned him doing here. But he's, you know, grown and found a way to play a great role for them. So he's hard to stop. You know, it's the versatility that makes him so tough. He's a great passer, can obviously shoot the ball at a high clip, but his scoring inside and the interior, his post-up play is really, really tough to guard. So if you throw double teams at him, he can pass out of it and generate good shots for his team. But if you guard him one-on-one, he can score on most anybody in the post. So tough player, good, you know, good guy that's having a lot of success for them.
I apologize if you already answered this on Thursday. I wasn't here. What's going on with Kolton, and will he be back for the tournament?
Yeah, Colton's got a kind of like a back injury right now. We don't know his timetable for returning.
Are you planning on getting any help back from those guys ahead of going down to Boise, or not?
Colton's the one that's up in the air.
Okay.
You know, Christian Gonzalez, Tyler Linhart, two guys that we, Titus Hero, you know, guys that we anticipated being a big part of this team coming into the season, we won't be getting back. So, you know, we try to control what we can. We still have plenty of bodies on this team that can perform well on both ends of the court. But, you know, we need to really get reset and find a way to put our best foot forward on Monday and then in Boise.
And going into Monday, you're facing damn near one of the hottest teams in the nation now, a lot different than the team you played earlier this season. What do you guys need to do heading down there on Monday?
Yeah, truthfully, I need to dig into the film tonight and tomorrow and make sure we kind of have a good game plan going into it. But I actually am a believer. I think they've been good all year. I know they had a tough preseason record, and they struggled to defend a little bit. They're defending at a much, much higher rate right now. I know that for sure. But they've had really good pieces from the start. You know, Kyrie Huey, Alton Hamilton in the front court are legit big men that can score the basketball and are physical. And then Isaiah Moses is one of the best guards in the conference. He has been the whole year. We knew it was a challenge when we played him the first time around. They got some other good perimeter players who are just playing their role very well. You know, Cole Schur starting for him now and is giving them some good presence. So every game in this league is a battle. You know, especially when you go on the road, you're going to have to put your best foot forward. And so it's going to be a big challenge, but it's a big opportunity, and hopefully we can make the most of it.
Denker's a handful to guard, but it looks like Brickner did work on him and still gave you 15 points.
Yeah, we had a few. You know, we go into these games with plan A, plan B, plan C. And, you know, we started Biko on him, and he did some good things at times, and then putting a little more size, like you talked about Isaiah on him, was definitely one of our adjustments, and I thought Isaiah did a good job on him. Tried to mix in the hots at times, mix in the post doubles at times, and I think that worked as well. But he caught a little bit of a rhythm late. You know, he went 4 for 5 from three. He's a sub 30% three-point shooter, but he went 4 for 5. Again, he played great, and you know, we got to find ways to kind of take away the best things he does. And I think, you know, around the rim, going, you know, 6 for 11 around the rim is, you know, something we could live with. But those threes definitely hurt us, and then the 9 for 11 from the free throw line is an issue as well.
Last question.
Coach, obviously, you know, a tough loss to take here at the end of the regular season, but, you know, we talked about the negative. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, what you guys did well in this game. 18 offensive rebounds, and after they kind of dominated you in the paint, 44-22, really, you guys 34-20 outscored them in the paint.
Yeah, we were the more physical team tonight, you know, and that's it's kind of a hard pill to swallow to lose on your home floor when you are the more physical team and against a team like that. You know, they just like us, they're one of the top 15 defensive rebounding teams in the conference. So for us to come in and have 18 offensive rebounds, you know, it shows just how hard our guys were playing, how physical they were the entire night. And that was a big key for us. We wanted to be a physical offensive team. And I think for big stretches of the night tonight, we were. Just the shot selection and the shot making, you know, which are obviously related, really hurt us on that end. But yeah, I believe our guys came out and fought. I believe our guys came out and gave everything they had, and you know, showed great physicality, and that's it's definitely positive, something we can be proud of.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Go Vandals.